Hey, and we're back. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you are joining us. We are having a discussion today about that feeling that you get, that you have like a niggling feeling. Hey Mel, let me know if you can hear me. I'd really appreciate it. Hey Zoe, let me know if you can hear me. I'd really appreciate it. So today we are talking about the niggling feeling that you get, that there is something that you really want to do. There is something that you know to be true for you, something that you know is out there ready for you to go. Thank you, people. Awesome. Hey, Rowena. Hey, Susie. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Katie. Hey, Zoe. Hey, Mel. When you know that there's something niggling in the background, and you're like, I'd really love to run a retreat. I'd really love to niche into sports medicine. I'd really love to work just with teenagers. I'd really love to write that book that I've always wanted to write on this particular subject. And then that part of your brain goes, but who am I to do that? But what is it about that I don't have the skills for, and it's not really associated with what I do already, and it's not going to get me the same type of results as what I'm currently doing, because there's no guarantee that if I do that thing, I won't fail, I won't be found wrong, I won't be trolled, I won't be. There's no guarantee for that, and so I had this thought the other day about what if Serena Williams didn't show up for her tournaments? What if she came down with amnesia and she completely forgot that she had all these amazing skills and talents? What would she do if she'd forgotten how to play tennis? What if all of that just disappeared and all of her memories of anything to do with who she was just gone? And then she started to try and find a job. And she found it at the local McDonald's. And you saw her walking down the street on her phone, scrolling, comparing against other people on Instagram, watching or asking information about Netflix and what's the next show to watch. And then you saw her going to work at McDonald's. What would you be thinking? Like, you'd be sitting there going, what? How can we get her on the court? How can we get her, how can we remind her and get it through to her that she has created a movement? She has been inspiring for women all over the globe. She's been inspiring for coloured women all over the globe. She's paved ways for pay gap issues. She's paved ways for what's possible for any female in a high a profile position. There's so many extraordinary things that we wouldn't have access to if she didn't show up and get on the court, right? I was thinking about Greta Thunberg, the woman, the 16-year-old who's doing all these amazing things for the planet at the moment and getting everyone riled up about how poorly our generation, I'm 40, so my generation has been kind of ignoring the fact that our environmental situation is as dire as it is. And a 16-year-old shows up and protests and speaks multiple languages and shows up. Imagine if she didn't show up. Like, we're having a massive movement that's happening because she was able to show up and share. Yes, she's getting all of the other things that go with that. She's getting, a movement happening, and she's getting all of these other bits and pieces that are happening when it comes to being trolled and other stuff. But this movement is happening because she's appearing for it. David Attenborough has been talking to her, all that kind of stuff. So what does it mean for you, though? And what does it mean for the planet for you not to show up? So I got some stats for you guys. 87% of deaths are associated with chronic disease, 8 different chronic diseases. So 87%. So it's 9 out of 10 people are dying because of diseases that we have the opportunity to give complementary advice to and sometimes alternative advice too when it comes to people trying to find health information about their chronic conditions. 87%. That's huge. And if we don't show up for that, the only information that they get access to is advertised websites with, random information that they've gone and stolen off somebody else's random information website, or some old textbook that might not be useful to them at all. Half of Australians report having one of the 8 chronic diseases. Half. So 50%. You're just literally walking down the street, and 50% of the people that you see have one of these 8 chronic conditions that you know information about, and that you, if you don't show up, aren't sharing that information about. 145,000 people this year will be diagnosed newly with cancer. In Australia, 145,000 people are newly diagnosed with cancer. And yes, there are pathways in the medical aspect, but we have all heard stories about the different types of things that are minefields and challenges, and sometimes really detrimental to somebody's health when they don't have the whole aspect of information when it comes to what it takes to actually look after them through a cancer journey, and what it looks like for all of the other people that didn't get diagnosed with cancer to avoid getting cancer, to prevent getting cancer. And you know what? That information that's inside your head, that is the stuff that is useful to these people. Now, not everybody's the same. This is the thing. I don't want to hear preventative medicine from particular types of practitioners. I don't want to hear it from particular organizations. I don't want to hear, but I might want to hear it from you. Your unique perspective on preventative health, on sports nutrition, on adrenal health, on skin conditions, on fertility, on particular types of medicinal herbs, on nutrition, on holistic lifestyle, on, whatever your version of it is, that you've got this niggling feeling that you really, if you showed up in this area, things might be more in alignment for you. Things might be different for you. You not showing up and talking about these things, you not showing up and writing that book, you not showing up and creating that retreat, you not showing up and making that course that's already just in your head, impacts hundreds of thousands of people. Now, we know it's not even just directly impacting these people with chronic conditions, cancer. 1 in 6 couples in Australia and New Zealand have fertility issues. That it's not directly impacting them, but it could be indirectly impacting the people that care about them. It could be indirectly impacting their workplaces and how they show up at work. It could be indirectly impacting the members of their family about worry and stress and all of the other things that go with somebody who has a health condition. And you not showing up impacts hundreds of thousands of lives, even though you think while you're sitting there at your computer, no, but if I do this Instagram post and it is a little bit controversial, that might mean that I will get trolled. If I do write the title of my book and then write the first paragraph, that might mean I fail in the long run. That might mean I have to do a whole bunch of work. That might mean that, but what if it does fail and flop and I don't make any money from it? What if it goes gangbusters, or at least helps one person, if not hundreds of thousands, directly or indirectly? And it can be as simple as you showing up for one Instagram post, you showing up for that first paragraph of your book, you showing up for niching in the place that you know you can actually be helpful in because you've had experience in it personally. And you can show up in a way that nobody else gets an understanding of inside that particular environment or what it's like to have that particular condition. Then there's the finances. What happens when you don't show up for something? What would happen if Serena Williams didn't show up for tennis? Her capability of earning money from all of her sponsorship deals, all of her other stuff, all of that other stuff. And you're going, yeah, but I'm not Serena Williams. Yeah, but she wasn't Serena Williams before she was Serena Williams either. You have a gift and a talent in your particular niche, in our profession, and in the way that you do it. This is the cool thing about being in our profession. You don't have to just do it one-on-one. You have the capability of being an amazing educator. You have the capability of being an amazing tech designer, amazing, book writer, an amazing speaker, an amazing author, an amazing, whatever version of it is there for you, it's there. We have the brilliance at the moment to be able to meld exactly all of your bits and pieces in your life into exactly what you want it to be, to share it with somebody who's out there really waiting for you to show up for it. You're missing out. The cost of it is also we've got about 86% women in the nut, Herbie, Praccie professions, and the ability to show up as a role model in our society at the moment as a female is extraordinary. And you not showing up is going to take away that opportunity for you to be a role model to yourself, to our profession, to other women, to your kids. You being able to show up for your business, you being able to show up for the next step, whatever that happens to be, that niggling thing that you're like, yeah, I can't quite do that. That's the thing that you're going to miss out on. You're also going to miss out on being part of this movement, this professional movement of shifting the way that the whole world thinks about natural health. And we sometimes point the finger over to, say Germany, where they've got a lot of integrative medicine doctors, Canada, where we've got a lot of natural health universities, but we have the opportunity to be part of it here. You not showing up dims the light on that. You have an opportunity to stand as part of it, as be part of this huge wave that's happening. You not showing up can also impact the advances in technology when it comes to providing natural health services to people, advances in medicines, advances in remedies, advances in research if you're into research, or if you're sitting on a pile of experience and you haven't had a chance to maybe connect with some of the organizations that do the N=1 type of research. We're missing out on your gift and your talent of being able to contribute to that body of knowledge when it comes to natural health. I mean, I don't know where we would be without Culpepper and all of that. Being a herbalist, it's one of my faves. I love all the way he speaks. But if Culpepper didn't show up, then what would happen? We wouldn't have had the entire wave of herbalism coming from all sorts of different ways of being. And you have the opportunity to contribute that from where you are right now in this part of the timeline of where we're at with our health and our well-being, as well as natural health. What else would we miss out on? The connection with other practitioners, the connection you have with a potential client, the connection you have with potential thousands of clients. I helped 7,000 clients in my clinic over 5 years. So being able to connect with them, impact their lives, then impact the generation below them, impact their, we're missing out on that if you don't show up for the little things that you think are insignificant. When it comes to those clients, I had so many clients come to me who had said, I had been to everybody. I had been to this specialist, this other specialist. I'd been to this doctor who didn't understand things. Then I came to this integrative medicine doctor that was closer. But the way that you describe things just clicked with me, and that's what's changed it for me. And they were the ones that had lifelong changes. They were the ones that had conditions that they thought they were forever going to live with. And it was just a conversation with me. And I bet there's so many of you listening that have had exactly the same thing, where, oh, you just described it in this way. And each of those practitioners gave that person something. I'm not discrediting anyone. This is an amazing opportunity, but sometimes it takes that extra way in which we hear things, or the extra time, that repetition of time, and in the way that that particular person resonates with you, for it to click, and then the shift happens. And if you don't show up with your particular click, with your particular story, with your particular empathy, with your particular gift in the way that you help in the healing process of somebody, in the way that you educate, in the way that you do the thing that you do, if you don't show up with that thing, they might miss out on that. It might be another multitude of people or multitude of years down the track before they get it, because you've got a gift to give them. And you need to show up for that. Last one is, if you don't show up for this amazing opportunity that you have as a practitioner in business, we all miss out on your gift and your talent. We miss out on you living your truth. We miss out on you being totally in alignment with that thing and the reason that you studied this in the first place. There was a niggling feeling inside you. There was like it was a magical resonance with you as to why you became a natural health practitioner, as to why it stood out for you in the first place. There's something inside you that reminds you that you're a healer, that reminds you that you can help people. And if you don't show up for that, and you do what I was describing, like the Serena Williams type of thing, and go and get some random job and be unhappy with your life and go down a really different path, then we miss the opportunity of the gift that's you. And you miss the opportunity of living your absolute truth, and the reason that you got into it in the first place. So I'm going to hop off my soapbox, but whatever you're thinking about, show up for it. Show up for it in the little ways, because all of the little micro steps will get you to your macro step. And even though it feels like it's going to be such a hard slog to that thing that it's costing you so much more for not showing up for it. It's costing us and the world so much more, you not showing up for it, than the cost of some time, energy, and possibly a little dash of money to create the thing that you're actually here to create. So, Erin, thank you. Hopefully that was a nice little gentle slap in the face. But I don't want you to give up. In those moments, I mean, I'm showing up today because somebody needed to hear this. I don't know who needs to hear this. I'm literally sitting in my office talking to a computer. And I'm talking to a little hole in the computer, in actual fact. And if I don't show up, somebody who needed to hear this won't hear it. And then the flow-on effect of that is that they might not pass it on to somebody else who needed to hear it. Or they might not stay in business and help those thousands of people we were just talking about before. They might not write that book that is going to be a total game changer, or write that book that's going to get them to the next book that changes the shape of everything to do with their particular niche. It might not create that retreat that gives someone an opportunity to actually be who they are, to show up and make love and make babies when they weren't going to have babies. So even though those little things that you think are insignificant seem to be costing you time and energy and money at the time, show up for them anyway, because you don't know where it's going to end up. And you have amazing gifts and talents inside you. And I believe in you even if you don't. And I don't want you to forget that you've got those gifts and talents, or those little niggles, because they're sending you on a ripple effect that I can't even possibly imagine, but I wanted to remind you about it today anyway. All right. Massive love, you guys. I hope that you show up today. All right. I'll catch you in the next vid. See ya.